Every year, thousands of men and women brave extreme elements and dangerous conditions to achieve personal milestones. These range from climbing mountains and deep-sea diving to dangerous hiking trails and sled dog races, such as the Iditarod. While many will attempt and successfully complete these often dangerous expeditions, there are numerous instances throughout the years of some not being so lucky. While death is always a possibility due to severe conditions such as exposure to extreme elements, there are, on occasion, bizarre circumstances of death that are simply unexplainable. On January 25, 1959, a group of 10 hikers, 2 women and 8 men, had set out on a ski hike in the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. Despite most of the hikers being only in their early 20s, all had experience in cold weather hiking and long-distance ski tours. The goal of the hike was to traverse a Category 3 hiking pass to reach a mountain in the north. After the group arrived by train to Vinzhai on January 27th, the youngest member of the group became extremely ill and was forced to stay behind as the remaining 9 hikers made their long and dangerous walk through the pass towards the mountains. For the young hiker that stayed behind, this decision probably saved his life. It would also be the last time he would ever see his friends alive. 2 weeks had passed since the hikers had started their journey through the pass, and it was expected that the group would have sent word back via telegram once they had returned to Vinzhai. However, no messages came, and concerns over changes in weather patterns and a recent snowstorm prompted a search party to be dispatched, believing that the hikers may have become snowbound as a result. By February 20th, members of the Ural Polytechnical Institute, the same school that many of the members were graduates of, dispatched a rescue team to search for the missing hikers. Before long, the Soviet Army had also joined in the search and rescue efforts. It was on February 26, 1959, that the fate of the hiking team was finally learned. A helicopter pilot flying over a region 10 kilometers from the group's original destination had noticed something protruding from the snow. When the rescue workers made their way over to the site, they found that the strange object sticking out from beneath several feet of snow was the tattered remains of a tent. As the area surrounding the tent was searched, the rescue team made a horrific discovery. One by one, they uncovered the frozen, lifeless bodies of all 9 members of the hiking team. The hikers had carried cameras with them as well as journals, and with those key pieces of evidence, investigators were able to retrace the team's travel through the pass. On January 31st, the team had stocked up on supplies before making their way to the pass on February 1st. At some point, the team had become lost in a snowstorm and ended up off course. Rather than climbing back down the mountainside, the team set up camp and prepared to brave the elements of the storm before resuming their expedition. Ironically, the mountainside where the team had made their last campsite had also been named by the indigenous Mansi people as the Dead Mountain. This is where the story takes an extremely bizarre and unsettling turn. When investigating the bodies, as well as the condition of the campsite, the following discoveries were made. 1. The hikers' tent had not been damaged by the snowstorm that stranded them. The tent had been torn from the inside in a manner that suggests that someone inside the tent was trying desperately to get out. 2. Only 3 of the hikers had died from hypothermia. 3. Despite the bodies being outside in temperatures well below 0, many of the hikers were only partially dressed. Also, some of the hikers appeared to be wearing small articles and scraps of clothing belonging to the other hikers. 4. The 4 hikers that were fully dressed were found buried in over 12 feet of snow, and all had shown signs of internal injuries and trauma, despite no bruises or soft tissue damage being visible on the skin. One female hiker was found buried face down in a small stream that ran beneath the snow. Her tongue, eyes, lips, and part of her skull were missing. 5. 3 of the hikers had died in positions consistent with them trying to get back inside the tent. 6. One of the hikers' chests were caved in with enough force that the only thing investigators could compare it to was being struck by a car. 7. When the clothing of the victims was tested, as well as the area of their last campsite, abnormally high levels of radiation were discovered. 8. The skin of 5 of the hikers was noticed to be extremely dark and tan in color, and that their hair had lost its pigment. 9. On the night of the incident, another group of hikers had claimed to have seen strange lights described as glowing orange spheres hovering over the pass. This has also been previously witnessed and corroborated by the Soviet military. 10. After the investigation, Soviet officials went on to state that they were convinced all 9 hikers had been killed by a compelling, unknown force. Today, the area is known as Dyatlov Pass, named after Igor Dyatlov, the leader and one of the 9 victims of the ill-fated hiking team. Despite countless theories in the nearly 60 years since the incident, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass remains just that.